welcome to the next episode of the Beach Court Podcast. Today it's all about Vancouver. We're recapping the Vancouver Regional Championships, where Andrew Hedrick took it down with Dragapult Dusknoir. We're going to be diving into all the success there, and also we're going to take a little more time to review the Day 1 and Day 2 conversion, how things changed from EUIC, but then also highlight some of the top plays from top 8, even though the format's on its last legs before rotation. Still some very high-level plays going on throughout stream all weekend. In addition to that, we'll be having our trivia segment where Eric will once again be trying to stump Parker and I with a rude, honestly, most of the time trivia question, rude and uncalled for. No, they're just a little tough, but we'll get them this time. And then we're going to wrap things up with Crispin's Corner, highlighting some of the spiciest lists from the Vancouver Regional Championships, as well as let you know about the upcoming pre-release promos for pre-release happening this weekend. But for now, we're going to pass it back over to the boys. My name is Maddox, hosting today while Eric is sleeping from his red eye from Vancouver. But he is actually sleepwalking and present with us, and also joined as always by Parker Greenwald. Eric, Parker, how are y'all doing?
Doing good. I don't know. Just good.
Just good. Hey, nothing wrong with that.
Just
Eric,
good,
how much have you slept in the past 48 hours?
Well, you see, I was at the casino Saturday night after not doing well. So I was there till 4 a.m.
Yes, sir.
Checkout was at 10, so got 5 hours that night. My flight was 4 hours. I slept about 3 hours, and then I took an hour nap after work today. So, what is that? That's 8 hours and 48 hours.
Hey, you're supposed to sleep 8 hours a night. That's good. Well, just ignore the time frame. But don't worry, we're gonna let Eric sleep
different
after
time
this.
zone, anyways.
Yeah, I'm definitely feeling it.
Yeah. I want to jump back to Eric's Vancouver trip, and we're gonna talk all about this. But Park, I want to pass it over to you. What you've been up to? You know, I know you got stuck with some work again this weekend, but I know you're enjoying some of the stream. And any other fun highlights from the weekend or fun showings at locals lately?
So what I do at locals? Yeah, locals. I played a post rotation. I saw this City League deck. It was Charizard plus the Ogre Pawns. So I was like, let's try it out. And I feel like I played out of my mind every game just to barely squeak by. So I don't know. Got to do some revisions on that deck.
Get some short credit from that.
I did. I ended up topping.
Hey, you
somehow, but yeah, I mean Charizard EX still a good card if there's no grass guy on the field. So
yeah.
Today I came home and there was a woman passed out in front of my apartment door. That was fun.
What?
Yeah. I guess it's someone that lives here, but she seemed to be under some kind of influence, and
sure.
I guess was at the wrong apartments, I guess.
That's wild.
You didn't hear about your new roommates?
Yeah.
They just moved into it.
Just asking for rent.
Yeah, exactly.
Meanwhile, Parker's having to do all this great thinking to make top 8 at locals. In the meantime, I showed up to locals with Conkelder. Conkelder, little poison box, found a list from online and managed to make top 8 with this as well. So it's fun deck. I having a little bit of a break until Atlanta, so I've just been, my goal is kind of play all the fun F block decks before they are fully leave, even though Conkelder is mostly sticking around. But other than that, I really just kind of tuned into Vancouver Regionals, had a little bit of a chill weekend, and had a nice time overall. But Eric, you were there on the boots on the ground in Vancouver. You talked about rolling the dice at the casino, but you also rolled the dice a little bit with your deck choice. A little bit. So how would you break down a little bit of what
that was a real gamble?
How Vancouver went for you?
I didn't feel good about Miraidon coming into the event with Goldingo's presence in the meta. Yes, you can play Defiance Band, Moon package like Azul did, and maybe that's fine. I just didn't test it enough into it, so I wasn't feeling comfortable. And I really wanted to play. I really, really wanted to play Palkia Star. I've been wanting to play that deck since before Mexico. So I tested it again, and it beats everything but Dragapult, so I just couldn't play. I'm just I just can't play this. So ended up going with Lugia after talking to Rahul. Shout out to Rahul on his Metafy group. He got a cool idea with the Radiant Charizard, putting it into the Lugia deck. Kind of helps your Goldingo matchup significantly. Slightly helps your Archaludon matchup, and even just kind of gives you some other ways to, take a single prize knockout at the end of the game, or 2 prize knockout with single prizer, while you're Ioning late.
Zero prize.
Or something like that. Yeah, zero prizer, right? So I really liked the list. I played bundle. His original list did not play a 1/1 Cinchino, which I did not feel comfortable with at the time because I did kind of respect Archaldon going into the tournament a little bit. So I cut Fez and fourth boss since I played the bundle for the 1/1 Cinchino. After the tournament, I kind of feel like the Cinchino was definitely the right call. I don't know if the fourth boss. I missed. There was definitely some situations where I really wanted a fourth boss here, and we'll get right into that. It came up immediately in round one, like immediately.
Hate the round one punish for a good deck choice, right?
Don't you know all you do is set up 2 Archie-ups and play boss's orders for the rest of the game?
Yeah, I mean, well, the bundle is a boss, kind of, so yeah, so in round one I hit Archalo right out the gate. So I win game one pretty standardly. Like everything's going fine. Game two, I kind of break a little bit. They get going, they kill Melee Lugia. Eventually I just concede. We go to the next game because I can't. I think that game Radzard or the energy was prized, one of the two, so I wasn't able to pull off the bundle boss play. Which is what's really cool about the deck. So go to game three. My setup's pretty clean. Like I'm feeling good. I take the first knockout with 2 double turbos on the Lugia. And they respond with I don't know, KO something on the bench. And I'm like, cool, I got Cinchino here, ready to go. Oh, it was something. It came up to where I had no energy in hand out of a 5-card hand. And I have research, but I also have 2 boss in hand. So it's like I have to research where those 2 boss and just KO the active with Cinchino. And so it comes down to a war of attrition with resources that once those bosses are gone, I'm not able to consistently stream knockouts. And then so at the end of the game, it came down to, and they were playing an Irida build, so they can get the Greninja plus Cyclone or something, or Luminion plus Cyclone. Okay. So it came down to Iono 1. If you don't hit Turo, I win. And he hit Turo, so they hit the Irida, so good build, right? Skill diff. Yep. But that's okay. It was still fine. I felt fine in that matchup. And then immediately hit 2 Goldengos, which super favorite matchup with the Radzard. So, won those 2 matchups, feeling good. Saw the meta chart. Felt like Lugia was still a good play for the tournament. Not feeling bad at all. And then out of nowhere, hit a Charizard Pidgeot. I'm like, cool, that's fine. We know how to win this. It's Water Pond, into Amp or something, into Gigas, so we've got a lot of things to do. So game 1, execute the strategy flawlessly. Things going well. Game 2 and 3 is where it gets super hairy. So I prize Legacy both game 2 and 3. So
not the pink card.
When you prize the pink card in that matchup, it's tough because you have to go take a single prizer with Lugia. And then as soon as I did that both games, he's like, cool, Dusclops, kill your Lugia. I'm like, yep, now I'm behind the prize race, and things just went south from there. They were able to show boss both games, take 2 prizes, so pretty brutal. But again, like I said, still feeling fun. The list was good. I didn't really break a ton. Dragapult Dustor round 5. Ended up in a natural tie because again, prize 2 boss. And I had 4 prizes. And so I took 2 prizes, and if I take one of the bosses, I win. And the 2 bosses are in my last 2 prizes. So I end up forcing a tie because that keeps me in day 2 contention still. And then the next round 6, I hit another Charizard Pidgeot. And I definitely just bricked both games, mega bricked both games. And I knew it. When I was X2-1, I was round 6, 7, or 8, I'm going to break one of these games. Right? That's just Lugia. That's just how it happens. And then immediately round of the gates, didn't something start round 6. So that was the end of that tournament run. And but no big deal. I mean, the weather in Vancouver sucked, but the venue and the people and the area was beautiful. It was definitely everyone said it's a great city. Definitely a little annoying that every Canadian you talk to that wasn't a Pokemon fan was like, yo, Trump, eh? The first conversation out of every Canadian's mouth was so Trump, eh? And I'm like, let me just not talk politics and just live.
That's funny.
we
Was it
also had
cold
that-
still?
It was like, it was like 45, 50 degrees both days, and rainy both days. So that's why I went to the casino, Saturday night, because there wasn't really anything outside to do.
Yeah.
And then I was gonna try and make the Canucks game on Saturday, Sunday, but it was just a little tight with my flight, so I just didn't do it. Kind of hung out, watched some finals, talked to some people, support some people, made sure Azul had some snacks for his last round so he could win some money. It was a good time. No, I definitely love Vancouver. The flights home for West Coast are just freaking brutal, man. They're so
Yeah, the red eyes are rough.
But what's not brutal is finding out that you randomly ordered some cards back in November and then they came in over the weekend. So I had 2 booster bundles waiting for me when I got home from Prismatic.
Yo.
So I opened one, got absolutely nothing. But anyways, this one I'm going to be giving out to one lucky listener of this podcast. I will not be posting this on Twitter. It will not go on any posts. You only find it by listening to this podcast, commenting on this episode, and you need to comment the word Vancouver Prismatic Evolutions. So
That's 3 words.
Yeah, 3 words. Vancouver Prismatic Evolutions. The only other criteria is you must be going to Atlanta because I'm not shipping it. So I will bring it to Atlanta, and
Could be local.
it could be local. Yeah, I'm gonna do the drawing probably maybe in 2 episodes. So you got 2 weeks to listen to this, and then leave a comment below with Vancouver Prismatic Evolutions.
You're doing it live on the pod?
Yeah, maybe we'll do it live on the pod.
Hey.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Yeah, comment below on the YouTube video for any of our Spotify listeners. Good reason to hop over and double check, make sure you subscribe, even though we really appreciate you listening on Spotify or whatever your favorite audio platform is. But yeah, Prismatic Evolutions is hot and would love to get you some packs.
Yep. 6 packs. These things go for what, $75? I'll
Something like
probably
that.
break the seal, to be honest, whoever I give it to. Just
Yeah.
because I don't want you to resell it. Like, I'm doing this to shake up with some packs.
True.
Eric.
I just saw a thing, Nintendo New York. They're doing a whole thing, but like you wait lines and you can go and buy like a single pack of Prismatic Evolutions from them. But it's like 1 per customer. But can
What, for $5?
Parker's making the faces at me, but you can go sell 1 pack at MSRP and you can walk into a store and buy a pack and open a pack of booster cards as opposed to like trying to show up at your local Walmart and being like, oh, whoops, there's people sitting here that are bought all the product and I've already flipped it.
I know there's like one store, like I follow them. What's their name? Out. I'm like 2 seconds. I'll have it.
I guess buying 1 pack isn't that bad if there's not like a half-hour wait for the 1 pack. But
yeah, just like if you're going in the store that day, you can make a reservation to like claim a pack, and you can use your code to go in and buy 1 pack. And I'm like, I think that's fine. Like, you get a chance to visit the store and.
Anyways, green, here it is. Okay, Safari Zone. So Safari Zone, like last week, they let people come in and buy like 2 or something like that, but they like broke the seal, like that, and like they were like selling like a little, just a very little bit above MSRP, and like the only rule was like break the seal. And I like that, I'm cool with that. So
Good stuff like that. So
that's Vancouver. Disappointed in the run. It sucks. I mean, I've got to like pretty much I'm all in on Atlanta now, so I've got to get a really good finish in Atlanta to kind of secure my Worlds invite. Otherwise, probably won't be going to California this year. So, well,
we got some time to prep here and for Atlanta, and I know a lot of y'all listening are also going to Atlanta. I will be prepping a lot of that, and as we get into episodes a little bit closer to Atlanta, we'll be doing our full post-rotation breakdowns, full Atlanta deck list, see what decks we think are going to be hot or not, potentially, and some other stuff like that, so we'll make sure you get it all prepped up. But real quick, we do have a little more time left in this format, so let's talk a little bit about how Vancouver went. First off, big news, this was a 12-person asymmetrical cut, the largest asymmetrical cut we've seen in North American regional so far this season, and actually the lowest point threshold required for an asymmetrical cut, only needing 29 points. So 912 was enough to make top cut, including from our eventual champion, Andrew Hedrick, entered in at 912. So, but real quick, just want to talk about some of the decks. So we saw some of the, usual suspects, right? We did see 2 Dragapults in the top asymmetrical cut. Saw 2 Goldengos, but on a bit of a rise lately. Saw Miraidon, missed at EIC, but it came back. Saw an Archaludon, again, back from EIC. But a couple other ones we weren't expecting. 2 Lugias back in asymmetrical cut. So 1 Gardevoir, and then we got, 1 Pidgeot control, and it's really a hybrid control, plus a Regidrago and a Roaring Moon. So lots of diversity here at the top. And what's y'all's first take? We have Roaring Moon and Ready Drago and Lugia back. I mean, almost every relevant deck in the format, and even some of the non-relevant decks in the format made cuts. So, like, what's y'all's takeaway from this top 8, of this top 12?
Honestly, I'm actually not surprised to see Reggie Drago up there. I knew someone good was gonna take it, and I forgot what I said for my prediction. I think we did a prediction about it, or maybe I'm just remembering wrong. But yeah, it's good. It's good. Roaring Moon, I'm really surprised about though. I the deck is incredibly strong. Maybe like the strongest deck on paper, not matchup wise, but like you can kill anything. 220 turn one. Boom, boom, boom. Like
Pokemon catchers, Judge.
yeah, Pokemon catcher, Judge. Like it is really good on paper, but I was like, how do you beat Dragapult? Like you gotta do the thing, and then they just dust clops your active and they kill all your guys, and like I don't know.
I mean, he came in the number one seed on 10-1-1.
Yeah.
I mean, based off of what's in Arcanine or in Pokédata, doesn't look like he hit any Dragapult. I mean,
Hey, that's pretty good.
He hit a loss. Oh, he hit Daichi round 9.
Yeah.
Playing Lost Zone Hydreigon.
Isn't that true?
I know that's what it says on Pokédata. What does Limitless say? Where's
like
Daichi?
No, Lost Box, no Hydreigon.
No Hydreigon. Okay, just straight. Okay.
He played against a couple
okay
Snorlaxes, which I guess should be good.
He had 2 Snorlaxes, yeah. And Ginsburg, he hit Ginsburg round 4 immediately.
Well, do you play Petrarit? All right, good game.
Good game. Yep. Emmett early, yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, came in as number 1 seed. I mean, Moon's always a good strong deck. Like Parker was saying, is like you just gotta hit the right matchups. And I think that like, he hit 2 Lugias and was able to like win tie against them, which I think is like very good.
Pretty good, yeah.
And that's like a hard matchup to win. Looks like the last one was an ID and a cut.
Probably, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Moon's just a strong deck, and as long if you play it well, I mean, I think, the question you asked, Maddox, was like, what's our takeaway? And I think the takeaway is that the good decks are good, and any other fringe quote unquote decks are also good if you know how to play them and like don't hit like the worst matchups in the room, whatever is bad for you, or have bad pricing or whatever. Like, there's so much variance that does go into top 8, but we do see consistently the strongest players, consistently making top 8. Shout out to Anil from Shift Gear Podcast for making his first top 8. So just happy to be there rooting him on. Sadly, he hit Caleb Rogerson in top 8, and I watched that match. I was standing right there, and like Caleb went first both games, game 1 and game 2, and like had like 5 energy on the board both games by the time it was Anil's first turn. And like he would just like Ultra Ball for Magaton, have it in hand also on top of that. It's like,
what do you do?
What do you do? He plays 1 candy in his build, and like he found it game 1 and he had a route game 2. But he missed the second counter catcher game 2 to kill the Raichu to have a chance to win. There were still other ways for Caleb to win, but yeah, unfortunate for Anil, but congratulations on his first top 8 in a very long time. I know he was excited about it, and he got the win over Rowan on stream, and nice to see Shift Gear Podcast doing well. Hopefully, that correlates to this podcast soon.
I would like to say, Lee Bowie's 1 loss was actually to Dragapult. I just went and found the guy.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so I was like, he hit 1 and lost, I guess. Fair.
Yeah, no, very cool, very cool top 8. I mean, the list of players, right? I mean, some of the players who lost in asymmetrical kind of also list of very, very strong players. Salman, who's been on a tear back-to-back top 8s regionals for him. Christian Labella, Makani Tran also losing in the asymmetrical cut. Like I said, shout out to Anil, Shift Gear Pod. Lee Boy, he always goes on one of these mega deep runs on one of these West Coast regionals. It seems like very year or a couple of years or so. So shout out to him. And then like we said, finals, a very exciting match between two very strong players right now, and of course, and Andrew Hedrick and Lucas Zing. Yeah. So And I think also, I mean, the big standout to me, I think as well, is Goldango sticking around, right? We saw it show up in UIC. It did show a lot of conversion, and also, we actually saw 4 of them in the top 16 overall, so very, very high conversion rate. Lucas Zing actually playing some very interesting tech cards as well, which will lead us into our segment. Do you know what every single card in Standard does? So here, right, there's a single prize Goldango that is played from the Surging Sparks. Actually, no, it's not from Surging Sparks. Yeah, it's from Surging Sparks. What does the single prize Goldango from Surging Sparks do, Eric Parker?
It does like 90 more if they evolve.
Yeah,
what
for
does
one.
you need to attack with? What are the numbers? What are the stats? Explain this card to me.
It's like 130 HP, right?
Yep. 1 for 30.
1 for 30, 90 more if it evolved that turn.
And then I think it's like 3 for 80 or 100 or something like that.
Yeah, I think second tail attack's not very relevant.
I don't remember.
It is, but we play in the world where every single attack on every card in Standard is relevant. So the second attack does what?
I don't know.
So the second attack is Surf Back for 3 colorless energy. You may shuffle, it deals 100 damage, and you may shuffle this Pokemon and all attached cards into your deck. So
yeah, that's maybe one day.
Maybe one day.
I think what I heard is that it comes up in like control matchups. You have a way to like cycle things back in the deck, and technically a cornerstone out. So is it that good? I don't know, but was it an inclusion?
My
it's a little funny.
Opponent played it.
Oh really? Okay.
So I have the ability of knowing it from that.
Nice. Yeah, and ultimately, Lucas and John Angano, then they kind of, a little group that put this card together, at least in the second place list. And really the idea here is the Striker Rich gives you that mirror tech, or, into Ceruledge or any deck that you play 1 prize evolving into a 2 prizer, lets you evolve and take the first prize, forcing your opponent to then put the 2 prizer in play to respond. And then, if they put the 2 prizer into play, then you can still keep responding. And once you take that first knockout, then you're still getting the prize lead. Since they have to respond, and if they don't, then you can just evolve in your 2 prize or take another prize, and you're still up 4-6 at this point. So neat inclusion. Again, not sure if it's a card that we'll see in more Goldangos, but a card to know that it exists. And I'll be hitting y'all with more. What does every single card in Standard do, especially as we have some more cards coming out. But let's talk about some of the conversion real quick. I think, and we can also use this to kind of cover some of our predictions as well.
Sounds good.
So I think, first off, when it came to, let's see, let me put this new tab. When it came to some of our day 1 meta chart, honestly, we saw 18% for Dragapult at EUIC, and actually we saw an increase to 19%.
Yeah, neither of you thought it was going to go down. That's why I put the over under at 20, and both of you hammered the under here. And you were really close to being wrong. Like, if I put 19%, you would have been wrong. I had the inclination. Hey everyone, my name is Eric Ridgway. I'm the host of the Beach Court Podcast. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. And if you're enjoying it, please take a moment to like, comment, and subscribe on this video on YouTube. It would really help out the podcast a lot. We've got more episodes, highlights, and more coming your way. Thanks for listening, and now back to the show. That it was going to go up. That's kind of why I asked that prediction to you guys. But yeah, I mean, it seems like it's a 20% deck right now, and we'll see how that kind of converts into next format in Atlanta. While Dragapult's still good, yes, they lose Laminia, they lose Rotom, lose Forest Heelstone, but Dragapult's still going to be around. It ain't going nowhere.
Yeah. Other big things to note. I Gardevoir at 10 seems surprising as the next deck.
Yeah.
But honestly, we knew people were going to show up and play Gardevoir last ride over 5 Curlia here in North America. But second place being 10%, right? And I think this shows you, really the meta was a little more centralized here in a way. Where we see the top 4 decks taking up 50% of the room. But again, still a lot, especially, and we didn't really see a full death of the rest, but still some big numbers here. Archaludon dropped a lot from UIC, dropping from that 12% down to a 7.6. But Goldango and Lugia V-Star both at over 9%. So lots of people are here already for flying high for one last time, including Eric. So
yeah, the Goldango prediction, that was one of our questions, was over under 5%. Both you guys smashed the over, so you got that one right. And then top 32 finish over under, both you smashed the over there. also smashed that because Goldango was in finals.
Yep. And then Cloth, I think, was also over
Cloth
under
was-
5%.
Over under 5%. You both smashed the over. Parker said 6.3 specifically.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good, not gonna lie. So
Yeah, pretty close.
I think the big piece here is that, while Cloth did see an uptick in play, while it did win the UIC, it did miss out on top 8 appearance. I think the highest placing one was top 32. So maybe some folks were expecting a little bit more of it. But yeah, and then real quick, as we go into our day 2 conversion, we see Dragapult fall off a little bit. Again, when any deck is the most popular deck in the room, it's very, very hard for it to convert positively. But still going from a strong 19 to a very respectable 18%. Gardevoir, again, often choice of many players. And really pretty much all the decks that we saw on the first day 2 chart all converted positively. Gardevoir from 10 up to 13, Goldango from 9 up to 13, Lugia from 9 up to 12, Claw from 7 up to 9. And
yeah, Arch is the one, right? That fell.
Yeah. Again, some people are saying it's on fraud alert, and some people are me.
It went down to 4.7% in day 2.
Yeah. Quite the change. Also, lots of people came out for Lost Box and to give it one last run in again before it rotates next month. Lost Box, pretty good showing. I don't think we quite saw the results towards the top tables.
There's some in top 16, I think.
Yeah. Saw 20th place with the highest one.
20th, yeah.
The Simon Long. Shot to them. Yeah, so a couple in top 32. So still a strong showing. Definitely a deck that has that ceiling, right? We've seen Lost Box in so many finals and so many top 8s over its lifetime. So still good to know that's still kicking even in a Badoo world.
There's a couple other predictions that we had that we need to talk about. Over under Lugia's an ASIM cut. Parker, you said over. Maddox, you said under. The number was 1.5. Parker,
I said
you got
2.
that one right.
Yeah.
So this couldn't be me. Anyways, next one was over under Canadians and ASIM cut.
Yeah, I got cooked on this one.
The line was set at 2.5. Maddox went under and Parker went over, and there was 4 in ASIM cut. So another win for Parker. The next one was what will the surprise deck of the tournament be? Parker said Lost Box, Maddox said Palkia Dustor, and I said Dialga Matang. I think the closest one there was Lost Box. So Parker, you got that one. I think really the surprise deck of the tournament was probably Drago in top 8, top 9. I don't know. Maybe that's probably like the most surprising deck.
Yeah, also Pidgeot Control.
Is that surprise though?
So we didn't really talk too much about Amon's list, but Amon did choose for a secret box Pidgeot Control build. But also this is not your conventional Pidgeot Control. It played a 2-1-2 Pidgeot line plus 2 Snorlax. Plus, it played the Feebas and Melodic EX to wall out Terras, and the Melodic for to stop Turo. Plus, played a Water Pond, played a Badoo. A very, very, very toolboxy type deck.
Played a Badoo? That's crazy.
Yeah, played Badoo, played Water, Ogre Pond, played a Luxray V, played like the whole suite, and played the Giacomo, played 2 TM Evo. I mean, they were cooking for sure. But got them a top 8, so cook away when it works, it works. So. And
the last prediction that we had was what wins the tournament. Parker said Guardy. I said Archaudon, and Maddox said Dragapult EX.
So when you come for the king, don't miss. And Andrew Hedrick, one of the best players of our time, has showed up and played the best deck in the room and proved he was the best player in the room as well. So
yeah, like undefeated in finals is a crazy stat.
I saw the MJ comparisons, never lost in finals type of thing. And Lucas Singh even did a good call on stream saying, hey, I'm gonna hand you your first loss type of thing, and did not quite get there.
What's crazy? Andrew Hedrick and I both have never lost in finals.
Damn, that's crazy.
Wow. Astonishing statistic there.
I'm just saying, it's kind of crazy, bro.
And before we wrap up our Vancouver discussion, I just want to talk about some of the highlight plays again from some of these best players in the room. Again, even though we are at the end of the format, we're still seeing some incredibly high level play from some players, and new ways and new interactions that we weren't expecting. So in top 8, we saw Andrew Hedrick again, of course, who was the eventual champion, versus Trevor Reed, who's playing Goldango. A little bit different build than Lucas Zing's second place, but still, pretty comparable to what we've seen before. Andrew Hedrick, kind of fallen behind a little bit, found himself in a spot where he was down 6-2. And Hedrick went for not quite a a little more of a potentially defensive play, but a little more of a smart play. Found Trevor in a situation where Trevor only had access to one energy left in hand, and Hedrick had stretchers left available. So actually went in for the Badoo item lock, and went in with with two prizes left. Went in and just Badooed item block Trevor. He had his one energy left, went recovered it, and then actually I think even Hedrick comes with that with a counter catch or something like that, and was able to pull off the Turo plus knock out the Badoo, and then from there Hedrick went stretcher, recovered the Badoo, and then Itchy Pollen again. And Goldango only plays item-based energy recovery at this point. Found himself, I think there was 2 energy on board and 10 in the discard. So they're only playing 12 energies. Andrew Hedrick made a bet that he was playing just 12 and decked him out on the table to win top 8.
We talked about this, I think, when Goldango was on the scene in Europe, Max, where I was like, how is Goldango beating Dragapult when Dragapult could just do that play? So nice to see the play actually happen and what I was thinking be true. Because at the time, I think previous to USC, the standard was 10 energy for Goldango. So in my head, I was always doing the math with 10. I'm like, okay, well, they do 7 to knock you out. Plus they've attached, that's 8. So then you can just go 2 more. Obviously, the list that were played in EUIC would have been defensive around that. So interesting to hear about that play. I didn't see it happen because I was in the crisis mode of finding my passport that I left in my Uber that morning. So that was fun. But last we got it and we're home.
Yeah, no, it was a neat play to see actually happen, and again, one of those spots where I think it was in a situation where Trevor didn't have enough ways to recover extra energy and hold it in hand. There might have been a situation where they could have held an energy and maybe held off the monkey to damage or something like that. But those types of situations, it's kind of catches it's like, oh, I have an energy left, I'm safe if they Badoo, and it's like, oh wait, what if they just Badoo again? And we're able to keep chaining the Badoos. So are we in a spot where if you're playing Goldango, you need to make sure you have access to 3 energy at all time, in hand, just to get around that enough times? So
I think the answer is yes. I mean, item lock is a real threat, right? That's why it's there.
Yeah. I've even seen some Goldangos opt to play a copies of Lana's Aid or something, so you have a supporter way to recover some energy. So another potential option for anyone who any Goldango players who saw that and, started crying or feared a potential of that happening to them, or maybe has had that happen to them, the item lock in future. And then our in top 4, we saw Leeboy again playing Roaring Moon against Goldango with Lucas Zing. Again, not quite a matchup we've seen too much, right? A matchup that doesn't come into play too much. Ultimately, and Lee was able to, again, continue chaining Roaring Moons. Really has to use Frenzied Gouging in order to take the knockouts, just because they don't really have a great way to hit 260 otherwise, but are able to put on that continuous pressure. And really, I think it's a deck where, if you can take the lead, just take a 2-prize lead, basically, then you can kind of get way ahead of the game, and Goldango doesn't really have a way to catch up, as long as you can keep creating those 2 prizes. So, Lucas did opt to play a copy of Roxanne in his list, which wasn't often seen in Goldangos previously, so I think that did contribute to a lot of his success. Lucas also played a Palpad, so a way to recover it. Leeboy was, again, able to just kind of constantly chain with the Petron EX to push to the active Poison, push to the active the Roaring Moon, and keep powering it up. So Lucas able to go on 1 turn, so when he's down 5-3, able to set up, okay, Roxanne, my opponent KO by just discarding a single energy because they had already damaged himself for 200. And then, Lee able to go and recover, attack again with Spiritomb going on to just 1 prize remaining. And then all in 1 turn, Lucas Zing is able to Palpad back his Roxanne, draw back into it, including using Pokegear. And then also goes for a very, very surprising line featuring his other tech inclusion, Spiritomb. So again, when Leeboy went to attack, he, dealt damage himself for 200, but by using Petron EX's subjugating chain, made himself poisoned, so he took 1 damage. So bench the Spiritomb, switch into Spiritomb, attach the metal energy attack for next turn, slam down the Roxanne, refresh the hand to 6, and then use Fade Out to put Roaring Moon to 220 HP. Roaring Moon dies to poison, meaning Pheasantipede is no longer in play. Also comboed that with a Lost Vacuum, getting rid of Pokestop, so left Lee unable to recover at the end of the game and take that final knockout. So that was how Lucas Zing punched ticket into at least to win game 1 and then eventually won game 2 as well. So, but really next level play, and honestly, the most relevant that Spiritomb. I mean, what a great final showing for Spiritomb, right? A card that is not rotating, but is going to be left basically unemployed, starting next month. Really with one big final showing and the fade out of all fade outs before it fades out into the bulk bins. But yeah, a nice little line that I don't think most people would have found. And when I saw the line happening in real time, I was like, oh, that's genius.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see this play, but like as you're like describing it, like I'm like, I saw where the path was going as you're like,
Yes.
oh, Spiritomb, and like I'm like, oh god, he's poisoned, so he's just gonna make it where Fez, because like I use that play all the time with against Cloth, like when I was playing Badoo and they'll Badoo me and poison himself, I'm like, sick, Badoo you back, you died of poison, bud,
Yep.
like get wrecked. So that's a pretty cool line to find. What did he push up afterwards? Did he push a 2-prizer?
He was just able to push a gold angle. Lee only had one prize left, so he's able to push the gold angle and
So it
force the
didn't matter.
gouge.
Okay, got it. Yeah. Okay.
Lee did actually hit heads on a catcher to bring up, I think, like the Greninja or something that was benched, but did miss the attack, didn't have a way to follow
Dang.
up. Was able to find like Koraidon and Sada, but couldn't find the energy to attach, and plus had no way to switch it in the active since Koraidon is not a dark type.
Yeah, he's not dark.
So needed either like attachment and dark patch to attack with Petra Run plus a switch. So needed a few pieces, wasn't quite able to get there, but again, wasn't expecting Spiritomb to be the bane of anyone besides any salty UV Max players.
Ancient Box or Hybrid Box did what it does and bricked game 2.
Yeah, it happens, but exciting game 1. So yeah, so I just want to mention those in case anyone hasn't seen those, right? All these plays are available if you go back and watch the VOD from the previous format. I thought there was some really cool ones. And again, it especially shows even though this format is like on its way out, there's still lots of cool interactions and great plays you can see even with cards we're a little more familiar with, but at the same time it makes sense to get excited for rotation. Before we show off Crispin's Corner, some of the hot decks from Vancouver and jump to our pre-releases, I know Eric has a trivia question for us, but before we do that, we need to talk a little bit about our sponsor. So Parker, we'll pass it over to you for this one.
Yeah. So, missing on competitive action, you get plenty of it at Nakama. They have their League Cup for the quarter, Saturday the 22nd. Not quite sure on what's going to be like the price point or what prize support's going to be, but it's always a great time. You get to play against the pod, eat some good food, see if you can take down the win from the incumbent Maddox, who won all his cups in the last quarter. But don't stop there, because next Saturday after that one, the 29th, is the Nakama Card Show. We'll be playing there. We'll have post-rotation decks. We'll have regular decks too, probably. And you can try to stop us out for some prizes as well. I don't know exactly, again, what it's going to be. But there'll be plenty of people there buying, selling, trading, product, cards, and it's going to be a good time, definitely. You don't want to miss it. So bring out your binders and decks and cards and catch us 2 weekends in a row at Nakama Anime Cafe.
Yeah. I've talked to plenty of all locals, anyone who's been in town before, been like, oh, I want to come see all of Nakama. Like, end of March is the time, right? Got a little bit of downtime before Atlanta. Want to catch a game against us? We'll be around. Want to go and check out Nakama, sing some karaoke, get some tasty food? We'll be around. Let us know that you're going to be swinging by. We'd love to see you there.
Yeah, what's the mat for this quarter? Is it still Pikachu?
Oh, no. It is. Wait, do we know the mat yet? Yeah, we know the mat yet.
Oh, it's, for next quarter?
Not this quarter.
Oh, it's still Pikachu. Yeah,
this
it's
quarter is
Pikachu.
Pikachu.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Is
still
it next
Pikachu.
quarter yet or no?
I don't think so.
Probably not until April. Probably going to be
Okay.
journeying together though.
Hopefully
Could
it's
even
at least
be
Clefairy mat.
Could even be Ends Zoroark.
That Clefairy mat was dope that Brazil got. We didn't talk about Brazil at all, but there's not much to talk about when the Fernandez brothers just run over everyone and make it to finals.
They're literally the GOATs.
So
They played the exact same 61 in both juniors and seniors.
Yeah.
Vinny taking on Pedro Pertusi in finals. Dragapult versus Gardevoir. And hey, they're good at the game. What can I say?
They're
Yeah.
crazy.
all right, so my turn to stomp you guys up on some trivia. I love doing these type of segments, bringing some fun questions. This one's, I think my memory's terrible, and I was very tired today, so you might get a free one. Because it's possible that I've done this question before, but I can't remember if I've done it before.
It was how many EXs are in Journey Together. We did that one last week.
So, the last 9 regionals that have occurred in the continent or the country of Canada have been won by Americans. The last 9.
Oh,
Who are the 9 Americans that have won the last 9 Canadian regionals?
I think we did this one, but it was what was the last Canadian to win or something?
Like the non-American. Yeah, the answer was
Yeah.
Pedro. Oh, sorry, Pablo.
Pablo, yeah.
Pablo Mesa.
So we're the last 9 Americans to win regionals.
Who were the last 9 Americans to win the
Oh my
Vancouver,
goodness.
Toronto,
Okay,
and
so-
any other Canadian
okay.
regionals?
So we got
Hedrick,
Andrew Hedrick, we got Cal Connor from
Piper.
Toronto. We
Piper
have
won.
no this past Toronto in
Oh,
2024.
yeah.
Cal Connor,
I just
yeah.
went- yeah.
I was going backwards.
Yeah, you
Vancouver
did.
before that was not Kenneth Gilman, but it was a Maridon player. Because that was the
Is it-
Peony Maridon that won right before rotation last year in Vancouver.
What's that? Like,
Let's see.
dang,
Toronto.
I actually don't remember.
Yeah, the Toronto before that was Azul with Charizard. And now we're stretching beyond my memory into the previous Vancouver. And I know Piper was Toronto before that, but Vancouver 23.
Vancouver. Or that. Was it you?
No, I like what person? You're
I
talking
know.
deck?
I was
Oh, who
I was
won?
hoping like maybe if we knew the deck, it would jog our memory.
Oh wait, this was when was this the one that this was like Reagan got second place with Lugia, or maybe actually this is Ian Robb won
check.
with I think it was Ian Robb who won with Lugia in Vancouver in 2023.
Sure. Or with it.
Yeah, and then Piper was the Toronto before that, and then everything else was pre-COVID, so I'm out.
Was it? There wasn't a 2022 Canada one.
Well, 2022 Toronto was Piper.
What's that 20? Oh my god. Old.
Yeah, you're old, bud.
So it'd have to be pre-COVID.
I think that's pretty impressive what we did. Eric, do we really need the other? Do we really need the other 3? I'm sure they're talented
Sorry, I
players.
wasn't keeping track because there's one you said that is true that wasn't on my list. I'm trying to figure out
So
what happened.
It's-
This
You don't
limitless
even
page.
know.
It's like,
he
well,
doesn't even know.
But I
I
mean,
think
I'm honestly getting the last 6
It's pretty.
from the past 3
It's
seasons.
pretty nerdy.
That's pretty niche knowledge.
why is this?
And,
much?
does anyone else know this stuff, or is it just me, or just us? So let us know in the comments if you actually knew all this stuff, or if you just jumped into the game last year. Actually, if you jumped into the game last year and you knew all the ones from the years before too, that's like super impressive. But if you've been playing around as
'cause
long
you're
as we
wrong.
have, then let's so.
What you said was
I'm
wrong.
never
so
wrong,
that's
Eric.
good. Okay.
No.
Well, Zol
Said
did
was
not
wrong.
win in Canada.
That was Toronto.
Huh?
No, he won San Antonio 24.
San Antonio. He got
That's what it was.
third in Toronto.
Well, the first San Antonio in 2024.
Yeah.
So then the one before that was that the Tina? No, that was San Antonio. That was the Tina game. What one when Charizard had that breakout game? That had to have been Tina again, right? It would have been before Portland. It was the tournament right before Portland. So Tina was still good.
All right, so the last 9, I don't remember who you got, so you guys have to keep me honest because I was looking up your little thing. I was curious. Hedrick, Cal Connor, you got those. I think you missed Nathan Beck,
Yeah, we said him right on.
Yeah,
He was
it
right on. Yeah.
Right on.
and you
yeah.
missed
Oh, JW was right on. That's what it was. Yeah.
Pretty well with right on.
That was
Uh,
a Canada one.
Yeah, I forgot that. I forgot
That
that
was
one. Yeah.
Toronto, right?
I thought that was like.
Yeah. Ian Robb won one. Piper Lapine, and then going back before that, Parker Lish, Jimmy Penderverse,
And
Jimmy
Narvis.
Pendervis, yeah.
Narvis, and Danny Altavilla.
Rip the goat.
Those are the 9. So yeah,
Yeah,
looks
yeah.
like recent memory you guys missed Nathan.
I should have remembered those because you're from
I remember it was
Florida.
right on. And
Yeah.
I almost said Kenneth Gilman, but that's the person who got second at Sacramento with Mariah.
Yeah.
So
And
Year.
stumped you this week, boys. Better luck next week.
What
I'll
year
try
was
again.
that, bro? Like,
I don't remember. I was just like going back like up until it was like 3
Yeah, when you
pages
got
deep on me.
Altavia with a regional
yeah,
win, that's a long time
Altavia.
ago.
It was like
That's
it was
wild.
like 4 pages deep on Limitless with 100 entries.
4 pages deep. Holy mackerel.
When was this
Regional
Um,
tournament even?
Toronto is expanded. Jimmy Pendarvis won it.
Yep,
so
2018
Altavilla won May
in
18th,
2018.
2018. Yeah, May 12th, 2018.
2018. He won
Wild.
with Night March. Holy cow.
Also, I played some. I don't know what format it was, but I played some Blacephalon this weekend.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
baby,
probably Sun and
baby
Moon or Lost
blues.
Thunder.
Yeah, I
And
played that
Hedrick's favorite
versus
deck. We know from our episode.
Malamar. I was cooking Steven.
Yeah, nice.
I have
Yeah.
big blowns in Malamar built.
Yeah.
There you go. Baby Blounds is Andrew Hedrick's favorite deck. We know that from our NAIC interview. If you want to
Yeah.
have a chance, deep dive with our most recent regional champion and most recent North American international champion, check out right here on the Beach Pro podcast.
Killing it.
God, these names, man. Altavia, Frank Diaz, Gustavo Wada.
So, all right, y'all. You ready to cook a little bit?
Real quick,
Yeah.
I do want to call out something that's really you talking about like older names and people that are doing really well this season. Michael Pramawat has already made his way to head judge on his first season of judging. And I think that just goes to show like what we need in the judging community. You know, we need someone that really knows the game very well to, you know, step up and do it. So just want to shout out Michael Pramawat for like being the GOAT and like judging this season and, you know, doing what he's done. Cause, you know, I heard some things that happened this weekend and I heard he was right there kind of like, you know, just making sure the players were calm, that they understood what was going on and like really controlling emotions and, you know, really understanding both sides of the stories, you know, and all the judge calls. I really didn't hear anything bad this weekend except for, you know, one small situation, but seemed like we had a pretty good weekend overall in Vancouver, and I think we're in good hands going forward with him at the realm.
Yeah. And Pram also made on stream judging a few, at least once. So saw him on stream there. So yeah, great to see players continue to contribute. I know, you know, Puka Sukovic also as well, like, you know, has been in the game development for a while, but an original player of the game has been involved. And the more we see, you know, the skilled players of the game that, you know, care about the community get involved. Again, that's things that are, I always view them as very, very good things. So shout out to Pram for, being not only a world-class player, but a, you know, top-level judge.
All right, let's see who's cooking.
Yeah, so next up, we're going to jump into our Crispin's Corner before we wrap up with a little bit of pre-release discussion for Journey Together. Again, how this works for Crispin's Corner is we'll be randomly generating finding a list from the player roster from the most recent regional, which in this case is the Vancouver Regional Championship. We'll try to highlight a couple of lists that, you know, maybe didn't make day two, and we will discuss and speculate on who would win in a theoretical battle over the table with these. Gives us a chance to see what arts were chosen, any cool spicy decks are chosen. So yeah, let's get right into it. So we're gonna first start with FG versus WW. We have the duplicates for true randomness. We'll do some player ID sorting. I forgot the first letters. It was KW, I think.
FG, I think we had.
FG. I was FG.
FG and WW.
FG, HFI. Let's see, we have Daishin versus
WW.
we have WW.
All right.
Nabil Shawa. All right. We have you know, a 7-15 versus 6-15. So pretty evenly matched here. We have a classic Lugia versus Goldango.
Oh, they got the Manaphy.
They do see the Manaphy inclusions, counter the Lugia's Water Pond, but Lugia does have the 2/2 Cinccino line. Does give them some pretty good lines into things overall. Did opt for the 4-boss line here, and pretty standard lineup either way. So you see the 3 missed energy, no V-Guard, but not really going to be relevant here. Versus Goldango on the right. It looks like this is a pretty standard new build, we'll say. Does have the 2 dark and 2 waters. Only opts for 1 Turo, but does keep the Pal Pad. Did add the Roxanne and also playing the Canceling Cologne and lost Vacuum with some tech. So not super relevant in this matchup, but gents, who do you have? Lugia versus Goldango.
I mean, 2/2 Rat and Iron Hand seems like too much.
Yeah, seems like a Probably a Lugia win. I mean, I don't know. Goldango could win the coin flip, and then it's just I kill Lugia, you kill my guy, I kill your next guy. I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah, our part is just the legacy to offset the prize trade.
Yeah, you just put legacy on Cinccino.
Yeah.
Like, what do they do?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you can build a single
They
prize
hit you
board.
for 80 and then monkey the next turn.
I mean, because
There
like
we
the other
go.
decks,
I
the
guess
other
you won't
ones
have
where they're playing like
damage.
the new Goldango, it does give you a little bit of a rough line into the Cinccino, because you can attack with a single prizer into it that's 130 HP and can't get
Yeah.
amp back.
Yeah.
But I think with this build, without that new Goldango tech, I don't know if you're going to fare well into Lugia. But again, Lugia can just not play the games. There's some times where maybe they win that way. But I think in a theoretical match where both players are playing optimally and playing well, I think
drawing
Lugia is
well.
favored and going
Lugia.
to take this one down pretty easily with a 2-2 Cinccino line.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, Goldango goes back to playing like Palkia builds and had the threat of Radiant Greninja to pick off the Minchinos before they got set up, and I think that would change the dynamic here a lot. But agree on paper, Lugia pretty favored here again, being able to use the Legacy Energy with the Cinccino. Maybe a little bit too much to deal with, but also worth mentioning, Lugia can't really do too much else besides threaten with the Cinccino. So you can maybe set up for like a Lugia plus an Iron Hands play or an Aqua Return or some other shenanigans there. But it does seem a little bit tricky if there's some issues setting up the Minchinos.
Yeah. Yeah, fair.
Yeah, in terms of arts, let's see, so some good full art selections from both players, honestly.
Is he actually playing the gold energies down there though?
Actually, it's impossible to confirm.
Yes,
There's just a toggle button here, but we do know the art. We do know the exact arts. Yeah, you got optimal Goldango.
Gotta give the shout out to the player on the right with assuming they're playing the max rarity rating Greninja with the stamp, because we don't know that either. But all of their Pokemon are pretty much high rarity except for the Goldengos because they're expensive. But yeah, I like the Monkey Dory. It's beautiful. I like the Manaphy and the Fez. But the full art Iron Hands, the shiny Water Pond, the Minions, rest in peace. See you later, bud.
Don't worry, he'll be back in like 3 sets.
Oh, please.
The Tapu Lele GX.
Yeah.
That card was so goated.
All right, we're gonna bring it.
Give us VS Seeker.
All right, we're gonna bring it back with a couple more decks here. We have OT versus DR. OT versus the Doctor. Doctor. Got Mr. OT and Scott Patchett versus Doctor. Imagine there's someone that's just like Doctor or something. You have Michael Laundry. Wait, are these? Oh wait, no, those are the 400. Michael Laundry. Let's see what we got here. We have a Turbo Lost Box versus Dragapult with the Frostlass and a Mawile. This is what you come to Crispin's Corner for, everyone. So on the left here, we do see honestly like kind of a similar, like an unfair stamp inspired build. Kind of reminds us like the Fernandez brothers and Tords. But you see a couple of those interesting tech inclusions, like the Defiance Vest, like the unfair stamp, like the Blood Moon Ursaluna, but also opt to play a Lost City, a Monkey Dory with a Dark, and a 1/1 Frostlass line to with Freezing Shroud to put damage on your bench, put on all your Pokemon with abilities.
Listen, are you worried about killing a Pikachu? No, I'm just gonna set up Frostlass, and then I'm gonna Phantom Dive
it,
and then I'm gonna kill it between turns.
Yeah.
No, Turbo Lost Box, they can just Radiant Greninja your Frostlass.
Yeah, but like if they
that's
don't,
never happening, bro.
What do you
mean? What do you mean it's never happening? That's what the deck's designed to do.
It's never happening, bro. It's never happening.
Not even once.
I'm gonna Phantom Dive your Pikachu, put 6 on Comfy, and I'm gonna take 3 prizes with Frostlass between turns.
Our Turbo Lost Box deck on the right, a pretty standard Turbo Lost Box. That's at least what we're seeing. It does include the Sableye, which we think is a pretty important factor in this matchup. It does play Iron Hands, Pikachu EX, and Iron Bundle. 2 Cramorant, actually, so really respecting Badu threats and those other single prize Pokemon. Does include the Fez, Blood Moon Ursaluna, and the Regigigas to help in the Dragapult. The trainer lineup, pretty standard, is playing a Prime Catcher. A little less on Switch, only playing 2 Switch in addition to the 4 Switch cart, but the 2 Jet Energy. No, 1 Pokemon, still the A-Spec Pokegear.
I meant stop. My bad.
No, Pokestop. Oh, really opting for the Artisan. So a lot of respect to Badu here. So actually, I think if we played this matchup several times, we'd probably get a lot of different results. because the nice interactions with, like, we have ways in this Turbo Lost Box deck respecting the double Badoo of our Dragapult, Frostlass, Cook, including the Jet Energies and the Artisan Skit things set up a little more.
Promo Frostlass on the left.
True, promo Frostlass is pretty notable. But also the double Cram plus the Jet Energies of the Artisan, like, you have a lot of ways to deal with that Badoo. And even the double boss help, respecting your Clefty or things like that.
You only play one gear.
Well, you're right.
You play it when you're getting Badoo.
Just open a Colress and then you Colress in your next Colress. Have you not played Lost Box before?
Yeah, I've never
you Colress in the Colress every time.
No,
Comment below if you've ever missed a Colress.
100 out of 100 times. Literally, will never miss it. It's impossible.
No, I think this is I think it's very interesting. I mean, obviously the Frostlass does set up some really interesting plays. If you can combine it with like a Mawile Trap, and Unfair Stamp, like, or probably Badoo plus Unfair Stamp and just like put damage in play with Frostlass. I think even buying just one turn with that, like, could even be enough potentially.
I mean, I think just like the moment the Dragapult combines Stamp, Frostlass, Attack with Dragapult and Stamp in the same turn, plus like Lost City the Pikachu.
Well, you're not attacking Pikachu here. You're using Regigigas.
Okay, lost. But like, I have an attack, so you would be attacking with like Iron Hands or something probably.
Yeah, I mean they can go threaten Iron Hands or Radiant Greninja.
I don't know. I mean, it just seems like the stamp turn, like plus attack plus Frostlass, seems like deadly.
Yeah, I mean the Frostlass to be able to just put extra damage into play and like really start to overwhelm. And also, actually, there's your damage mod, right? If you're worried about honestly, it does act as a damage mod in a way, right? Is if for Comfy specifically, you can put 6 onto one Comfy and then Freezing Shroud 6 and KOs the Comfy.
And it doesn't trigger Fez.
Yeah, if you were to smack into like an Iron Hands or something, yeah, exactly. So
even if you smack into Pikachu or something, right?
True. Yeah, if they did attack Pikachu and you did
go to
swing into Pikachu, yeah. but I don't think you attack Pikachu in this matchup. There's like no point to attack Pikachu in this matchup.
Yeah, I agree.
So, all right, but like we said, I think if you play this game out multiple times, I think you get a couple of different results every time. But I want y'all to let me know, who do you have favored here?
Dragapult.
I think
Dragon Lost Box enjoyer.
Dragapult slightly, but like I know Mike Landry. I know, even though I just butchered his name, but like he's a very good player, so I think he would like pick up on things game 1 and then have a better game 2/3 kind of thing.
I'm not finishing game 3, bro.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, yeah, you gotta. But
or it's like it's a tie, of course.
It's a tie.
Lost Box versus Dragapult, of course. It's a tie. No, I do like how Michael Landry's list is really respecting a lot of the potential things that like a Dragapult could do with the Badoo and the Jet Energy and Artisan. But Defiance Vest also being a good tech for the Regigigas, plus the Unfair Stamp, plus you can throw some pressure with the Lost City. I think it's probably just a little bit too much. Just the extra tools, assuming your Dragapult is able to survive and get into a Badoo, turn 1 or 2. I do think probably would have to give it to Dragapult here. It's just such a tough matchup for Lost Box, but in the hands of a skilled player like Michael, I do think that this list does have everything it needs to beat a list like this. So, all right, let's tackle
one more.
Tackle one more. If QX, man, that's definitely not showing up in the roster, but we'll see. Versus ZS, this might be a little rough. QX, anyone? QY, QZ. We go back around. QA. Quail.
All right.
Kale. We have a Canadian. And actually, let's have a Canadian matchup for this last one as well. If we can find one. The ZS, ZT, ZU, Azul. No,
Azul.
we feature him enough. I guess we'll go with
Japan.
Kazuki here from Japan. So
yeah.
Oh wait, is this is
Continental Divide.
Continental Divide. So we have on the Japan side, we do have Goldango. Oh no, this is a Goldango mirror.
Goldango mirror. Oh wait, no, we got
Goldango Dragapult.
Wait, Goldango Dragapult. Wait, that changes everything. Hold up. So on the Japanese side, we have Goldango Dragapult with the Badoo versus a straight up and Klefki versus a straight up Goldango. So we have consistency versus options, y'all.
So shout out LDF. The list on the right probably has to be pretty close to like LDF's list. I think he played 2 Klefkis in his. But
Yeah,
he did play Goldango 1/1 pull with 2 Klefkis.
Yeah, shout out to LDF, a friend of the pod, and basically our fourth at this point. But times he subbed in. But yeah, also playing a similar one. But yeah, here we have the 4/3 Goldango, really making extra space for that 2/2/2 Dragapult, plus the Klefki, plus the Badoo, plus the Monkey Dory. Some the whole suite of options. We have the one Crispin, have a vacuum, counter catcher, double Iono, plus the Energy Search Pro to get things rolling quick. Versus on the left, I think this looks pretty close to Xander Perot's top 4 list from EOIC. Again, if you want to hear more about that list, you can check out our episode prior to this with Xander. We do see the Palpat inclusion, which I don't believe Xander played. And I don't know the other cut. But
yeah,
I think just a couple. I really just a couple changes.
They really want to beat Lax, bro. They want to Turo 4 times.
I mean, can't really go wrong with that, honestly.
I guess, yeah.
So, actually, no, I was wrong. This is Xander's list. He did play the Palpat. I missed that. So,
Turo 4 times seems pretty good.
So Xander Perot's Goldango list versus the Goldango technology with the Dragapult. Obviously, I think what's clear is the Badoo does give a little extra edge of potentially being able to slow the setup of Goldango. Doesn't quite have a lot of ways to get into that Badoo. All of our attackers, for the most part, have 2 retreat unless you open that Badoo. Other inclusions, we can actually attack with Radiant Greninja in both decks. Both of them did opt to keep the 2 water energies. And on the right, the Goldango only has the 2 metal energies to make room for that extra water. So, plus has the 2 fire and psychic. But honestly, you get a turn 1 attachment to Greninja. You find that one of Crispin. You could do a quick Radiant Greninja attack turn 2. So, gentlemen, Goldango standard. The Goldango we know versus the Goldango we don't. Who you got?
Probably the Goldango we know. I think it's probably just a little more streamlined at just hitting for a lot of damage, and that's all you have to do in a lot of your games. So,
yeah, I mean, the player on the right does play the counter catcher.
Yeah.
Pretty interesting card. And 2 Ionos. I don't know. Yeah, I think I agree with Parker. Like, maybe the list on the left is just like a little bit more consistent, straightforward. Because I don't think you're going to the Dragapult really much in this matchup, and Klefki really isn't doing anything. I mean, like Max said, like there is one combo there that's like very good if you find it, but like there's one Crispin, like you're not finding it.
2 waters, one of them can't be prized. You have to find turn 1 attach with the water.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think the list on the right, again, I think it's some cool technology. Only the 2 metals, so a little bit of lack of consistency of being able to set up that early attacker to potentially, when you play Energy Search Pro, so like you could probably find it, but it's nice to have a surplus of those metal energy as your main attacker. Play on the right with the Goldango. Dragapult does have Disruption, right, which is not featured in Xander Pro's list. So if there is a way to come back into this game, it's probably something along the combinations of, Lost Vacuum, way the Pokestop, Counter Catcher, a Dango, Iono, and then Smack for 200 into the active, and then try to set up a boss play to take a 4-prize turn, similar to how Andrew Hedrick won plenty of games this past weekend. But I do agree, probably a little difficult overall. I'm also going to favor the Goldango that we know. And actually, I guess one difference from Xander Perot's list is did not have 4 of the minor aired runnings. So for anyone who knows Quail, I don't know how to say the name. Kale. Hook them up with that extra Goldango or that extra gimme goal if they want it. But also, continuous coin toss, it deals infinite damage. You can't really go wrong with infinite damage.
For 5,000, brother.
Exactly.
Good.
You want a mirror tech? Just flip enough heads. So
that's right. I mean, the player on the right also plays 3 of them.
Yeah, in the gimme goal, specifically face off, play on the right certainly favored. So
before we end this segment, I do want to search for one other player. I would like you to please search for KENN and then pull up Andrew Kennett's list.
Andrew Kennett. Oh yeah. Just drew this. Did feature, and we saw on stream as well, the Flareon toolbox deck.
Yeah, so I saw him playing this, and he was like 3-0 at the time, or 2-0. I think he went on stream like the next round.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I just wanted to see the list. What was it? It's a 3 Crispin, a black belt, 2 Iono, 2 Terra Orb. Love that. Only 1 Trumpet. Seems a little light on the Trumpets here. Seems
Yeah, I
like
mean, being able to use Flare EX's Burning Charge to flood the energy into play,
yeah.
as well
Yeah,
as
it
the
might be
Super Rod
okay.
helps synergize with that. You know, and ultimately didn't need like too much energy. Like when I watched the game between Sparkling Crystal, you're able to set some situations. I believe I forget exactly what deck they played against. It might have been a gold. I don't think it was Goldango. It was a Cloth maybe. But the Carnelian, the Flare EX attack, did get used a lot more times than I was expecting to see it used on stream today. Just a flat 280. Very, very neutrally good.
Also, has got the Sylveon for the Angelite attack.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think game 3 did
Lugia.
not have time. Game 3 did not have time to resolve. So there was the one of Sylveon EX Angelite, and I believe at the end of the game, or in order to help preserve the tie, since there was no longer a win con for Drew, it was like shuffle in like the Brute Bonnet and like the Terrapago, so like getting rid of the Old Terror, getting rid of the Poisoner, and like all right, plus Iona. It's like all right, Iona 2, and you're not drawing anything off Fez. You have 2 cards. You need to like set up an attacker plus set up your poison. So.
Yeah, I love
Big
that.
old
I mean, like,
combo.
if I hit this as Lugia, I'd be so scared of that, man. Like, bro, like both power caps gone. I'm like, no, be kind of crazy.
Yeah, so pretty cool to see. So shout out to Drew Kennett again, very talented player. Good to see this on stream. I think this was round 4 or
It was round 4.
I think it was round 4.
Round 4, he was 3-0. Yeah.
Yeah, round 4 of stream. So anyone wants to check out this deck in action. Again, I'm big on watching all the old VODs because I just enjoy watching the game and seeing it played at a high level. We talked about some of the games already, and this was an interesting one as well. So, all right, any other lists before we highlight some of the pre-release promos before wrapping things up?
Nope.
All right. Last order of business for today is pre-release. So we have talked about pre-releases on this pod in the past. I think mainly sometimes we'll try to like highlight maybe how you should build your decks, things like that.
Max, I think you're showing the wrong screen, bud.
Oh, whoops. There we go.
Good thing there was nothing bad on that tab at the bottom.
There
we go.
we have our Journey Together promos.
Oh,
and I
sick.
think
These are the promos?
Yeah, and I think what's very, very promising about these is they're all trainers Pokemon, right? Which I wasn't quite expecting. So we get to see End Darmanitan. Again, it's supposed to be very, very playable with this Flame Body Cannon attack. Iono's Kilowattrel with its great flashing draw attack, Hop Snorlax, and Lily's Rebalm Bee. So really cool to see the trainers Pokemon here, which does make me think that if you go to your local pre-release, you're probably getting more trainers Pokemon in your pre-built kit. So maybe with Hop Snorlax, maybe you're getting like a Hops Cramorant, which is, very good in a pre-release format because you start at 4 prizes. But, it could even be something like the Doubles as well. Give you some gusts in there. The Iono's Kilowattrel.
Wait, the inviting link is hilarious.
Yeah, it's Erica's invitation on an evolution. That's funny. The Lily's deck, it's Lily's Clefairy, which is pretty splashable in a lot of decks, but all the other cards are like very control focused. You have the Pearl that gives 1 less prize when it's knocked out. You have this card, which is Erica's invitation. Like, is there some stall deck being built? Or are you maybe going to end up playing against a control variant at a local pre-release? Hopefully not, but maybe so.
Yeah, I mean, just play like a Xatu engine with 4 pearls.
But what do you do? But how do you win? Like, that's the thing I don't.
You just keep attacking with single prizer the whole game, bro.
But how do you win?
You hit 200 with a single prizer every turn.
This is 70 HP with 2. Oh, with the Clefairy. Clefairy.
Yeah,
that's fair. Yeah.
Xatu plus Clefairy.
It could be done. Could be done.
Cooking.
The Hop Snorlax, again, are going to be a cool card in the Hops engine. A lot of people are excited to play this one, so make sure you head to your local card store, hit that pre-release, get a few packs, as well as, get a cool Snorlax, maybe. I was going to watch it. I did not realize Flashing Draw was read the way that it did. I thought it was like Rev of Room, but it's specifically you must discard a basic lightning energy from this Pokemon in order to use the ability. Actually, a little improvement. It makes it a little more Iono-proof if you can leave an energy on it. And of course, with Iono's Belly Bolt, you can put as many lightning energy as you want to attach them to your Iono's Pokemon. So being able to use the ability to attack to use Flashing Draw isn't that big of a deal. But yeah, so I think some good consistency that you could find in the pre-release if you're able to start chaining these. But of course, End's already made it in. And any pre-release like format where you don't have like bench barrier, we don't have a lot of ways to consistently fight your Pokemon. If you can somehow set up this Flame Body Cannon and start swinging, it's going nuts. I'm curious if they're going to include a reversal energy with this kit and let you really get explosive with
That'd be crazy.
early attacks. So,
All right, I have a prediction question for you guys.
sure.
Today's March 10th, 2025.
Yeah.
On April 10th, 2025, will the card N have a reprint?
No.
I think not. It's because Iono exists.
I could see it. I could see it. The
It's
card's already there.
interesting.
Why wouldn't why not, right?
If only it's really just like N is like so broken and so key to the game, but also a deck being able to run like 4 N and 4 Iono would be kind of nuts.
Yeah.
Man, they can't run 4N and 4N forever, but yeah.
No. Fair enough.
I could see it like towards the end of like this format, them reprinting N.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, Iono does eventually rotate in like a
Yep.
They'll
year,
rotate
right?
this time next year, right?
you never know.
I don't think this early, but it's possible.
We're already one rotation away, but if we stay with how things are currently, where like Iono is set to rotate, where Boss's Orders is set to rotate, where Professor's Research is set to rotate, there could be some really, really interesting supporter lineups.
Yeah.
If they do not reprint these cards immediately. So
Doesn't it set to rotate at the same time?
yep.
Yikes, dude.
Doesn't Morty's rotate as well?
No, that's from Temporal Forces.
Oh,
It's
okay.
Professor Research, really?
Yeah, when they reprinted it in Prismatic Evolutions, it still has a G block tag.
Yeah, well, good luck at your pre-releases this weekend. I
Yeah.
will be probably one at least.
Y'all, which pre-release promo are you going for?
I'm going for
You
the
get your pick.
Kilowattrel, bro. Miraidon is
Kilowattrel?
not dead. Miraidon is still here. We're playing Miraidon with Iono's Belly Bowl and Kilowattrel. We're gonna go fast. We're gonna draw some cards.
You can use
So-
Raichu so much.
This is what Miraidon has been missing is drawing cards every turn, and now we have it.
Right, it's just really just having the attackers to come with it. Parker, which promo are
We
you
can
going
play
for?
Larry's skill with this deck.
I guess.
You discard your hand, you get whatever you need, and then you
And
draw,
then draw
six.
6. All right, we're cooking. Parker, which promo are you going for?
Probably Snorlax if I had to pick it.
So Alex, that's a good one. I did use a Rabombi in one of my Pokemon video game playthroughs, but this Darmanitan, too cool of a guy, too goofy looking, and yeah, too good attacks. I want to try at the end Zoroark deck, get a little Fusion Strike action back, at least in my head, at least. So
It's funny because that like first attack is funny against like if you ever played against Ceruledge or something.
yeah, it's like let's just randomly farm Ceruledge. 30 damage, recheck basic energy card in your opponent's discard pile. And with weakness, you're definitely like KOing Goldango as well if you actually attack the Darmanitan.
Yeah.
Yeah, Goldango and even Miraidon, right?
Yeah, if you get to that point, I
Well,
guess.
they would need what? We're trying to hit 2. You need 8 energy in the discard to KO with Backdraft.
No, it's not a lot.
Miraidon.
Yeah. I mean, but you just can't one shot in that deck. So like all the energy stays on for like, at least a turn, and like you're just getting hands.
True. Yeah, very true. All right, y'all. Well, that's going to do it for today's episode of the Beach Court Podcast.
One last cliff note.
Yeah.
Next week, just teaser for everyone else that stayed through this episode for a very long time. Thank you for listening. Next week, we'll have Rahul ready on this episode talking about post-rotation, his experience in Japan, and kind of what it was like to play in Japan. So you're going to want to hear that interview as we start to prep towards the Journey Together set release and get ready for Atlanta.
Yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in to the latest episode of the Beach Court Podcast. If you enjoy what you listen to, please feel free to drop a subscribe or like below, or honestly tell a friend about it. We're always trying to grow. Word of mouth's a great way that we grow. If you're enjoying the pod, reach out to us on Twitter, reach out to us personally. All of our socials are in the bio of the audio you're listening to or in the description of the YouTube video. But anyways, we will be back next week with Rahul ready and more to get you geared up for post-rotation. Thanks, everyone.
See ya.
See you. Love him, Parker.
See ya.
Love him.